So quickly before we move on, with this being an advanced Elemental course, I do think that we could actually jazz this up a little bit more, just so that it really, well, it's very creative, right? We want all of our visitors to visit these templates, visit these pages, and be wowed by them. So how are we going to wow them with our header? And I mean, we could certainly do more with this. We could actually add a background color to the text here and edit this slightly. In fact, we can go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to drag a new container in underneath the title. Let's drag that in. Oh, it's going all over the place. Drop him in there. And then we could actually drag this client brief and then the text into that container as well. Then we can come and select that container. Let's reduce the size in there because that's a little bit too much. Maybe keep that 4 or 5. And then we could come and add a border radius to this. So let's come to border and then let's maybe add 5 as a border radius. Let's now give this a background. So if we wanted to give this a background, let's say we wanted to give it we could give it a black color. I think it might look quite good as our accent color. Let's go with that. And then let's make that a little bit more transparent like that. Then we could actually make this text white. I think that text would look quite good white. Go with that. Oh, I've just duplicated it. I'm going to Command and Z to go back. Let's come back to the heading over here. Let's change this to white. We could even change Better Life Design to white as well, but I think I'm going to keep it like that. So I think that's looking a little bit more punchy. Of course, we would probably want to add a little bit more to that client brief just so that it fills out that space a bit more. But of course, this is just some dummy content to get us started with for now. So that is actually that taken care of. Now, if we come over to the image, I think it would look really cool if we had a laptop screen there opened with our website on the screen. And we're actually going to add some motion effects to that as well. So it looks like it scrolls all the way to the bottom of that web page, which I think would look really, really cool. So let's actually do that now. So I'm actually going to go ahead and delete that image. So we don't need that image in it anymore. We come back to our add an element. I'm actually going to drag in, actually I will need an image, so never mind. We're going to use this one image here. And then I'm going to use this Apple MacBook image just here. So I'm going to attach this for this lesson. So go ahead and drag this in. I'm going to select that one so that we have this MacBook screen here now. And we can see that that background, the screen there is actually transparent and it's showing the background of this actual section. So let's actually go and move an image of our website into or inside of this screen. So to do that, what we want to do is, in fact, we're going to drag a container into this container, and then I'm going to duplicate this because I want this image to be inside of this one, so that we have that image in one container and then this image below it with nothing in it at the minute. So what we actually want to do is add a background to this container. So let's select this bottom container. We're going to come to Style. We're going to select Background Type Classic. And then we're going to select the dynamic tags for the image. And this time we're going to use the desktop. So not the featured image. This time we're going to use the ACF image field. Click it again. And then under the key, we're going to select desktop image so that it brings in our desktop image into the background. Now, of course, we do need to change some of these bits here. So let's change that position to top center. Let's change the attachment to scroll, repeat to no repeat, and then the display. Let's set this to a custom. And if we actually set this, we can actually leave that as a percent. Let's reduce that to the width of about that screen size above it. So I'm going to go with something like that. That is looking okay. We can see that that is responsive. So let's now select the container again. We're going to come to advanced. And now we want to uncheck the link values for the margin and then move that whole bit up into the actual screen of that I was going to call it an iPad then, of the MacBook. So let's just speed things up a little bit here, maybe 400, 300. That's okay. Let's move that to the top. Oh, So looking at this, I think something like that looks good. Now what we can do, we can actually set a height for that container. So if we come back to layout and then we have the min height here, let's go ahead and drag that to, that is 283 pixels, and that looks like it's filled that out perfectly. So that is looking really cool. I really like the way that that looks. And just to make this really sort of wow our visitors when they come, what I actually want to do is add a hover effect to that background image. So to do that, let's select this container again. We come to style, and then under the background here where we've selected this ACF image field, what we want to do now is select hover. So now if we select hover, we're going to do exactly the same again. So we're going to select classic, we're going to select the image, sorry, we're not going to select the image, we're going to select the dynamic image, come down to ACF and select that image field. Then under the key, we're going to select the desktop image. So far everything is the same. And then this time the position, instead of being the top center, we're going to go with the bottom center. So on hover, you can see now it scrolls, and that looks really, really cool. So I'm going to just go ahead and select the attachment to scroll, the repeat to no repeat, and the display size to default, because it's already going to use its parent sizing from the normal state. And then the transition duration, let's move that to maybe 3 seconds. So as you hover over it now, you get a glimpse of that whole website. And that looks really, really cool. So that's not something that you see on every single website that we visit. And again, it's just showing off our capabilities of what, you know, of how creative we are and how we can actually design and build these incredibly creative websites with incredibly creative elements. So I'm really happy with that. That looks really cool. And that is going to bring this lesson to an end. I think that that just looks a lot better than what it did previously, than just having that featured image dropped in there. So in the next lesson, we're going to carry on with this. We're going to be doing some more effects and just really keeping our visitors engaged with a lot of motions and everything else that's going to really make this web page sing.